everyone, and welcome to episode 60 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. This week, I'm joined by the wonderful Charlotte.
Hello.
And the financial guru, Cameron.
That was 9 years ago. 8 years.
People listening to the audio version are going to be very confused. You guys need to come here for the live version to catch all that
No,
stuff.
that's fine. Just leave it all in.
No, just
I
leave it all
can't
in,
leave
it's
all
fine.
that in. We spoke for like 20 minutes.
Okay, you know what we can do is just move that
To the end of the show.
to the end of the show.
Oh, God.
That's
Because
it.
it's going to make no
No,
sense.
that's all Patreon content.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Useless Patreon
the
content.
finance podcast. The marketing podcast, the finance.
This is not financial advice in any
This is
way, shape, or form.
Don't follow our
Yeah,
footsteps.
No, exactly. Okay. This week we're probably going to talk about some Xbox stuff. What a fucking surprise that is. I'm definitely going to talk more about Persona. We're going to talk a bit about some stuff that's coming up in the next couple of months. This financial year, what's not going to make it out. You know, we've got through October. It's the big glut. It'll be interesting to see kind of what's left. And of course, as always, we're doing the show live on Twitch, where you can come hang out, listen to us chat shit before we start the show. Xbox Hall of Gamers is the place to find us. Come say hi. We've got David in the chat at the moment. We've got Panda. We've got MGB live.
MGB. Yep.
So come say hi. We appreciate all of our fans and supporters. But first, Cameron's going to transition us to Song of the Week. Take it away.
Ta-da.
It's on tonight, 100-hour fight. Joker's on the loose. Now it's time for the last ruse. Almost achieved it. The final score. It's been quite the undertaking. And I've still got too many more. 'Cause I can't wait to play Earn, baby, earn. Get that completion, earn, baby, earn. Get another done, earn, baby, earn. Get that completion, earn, baby, earn. Get another done.
So this song is something that came out prior to 2000, I'm pretty sure. So I don't have no care of it whatsoever.
I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, I don't.
It's
80s.
70s.
Okay.
It's even earlier than that.
I was going to say 80s or 70s, yeah.
Well, to be fair, Charlotte, you know what it is?
I do, but hang on, because I listened to it ages ago, and I'm like, I messaged
She's
you with
looking
the
it up.
name, and now I'm like,
looking
no,
it
hang on. So we listened to it hours before the show, Disco Inferno.
Yes,
We
it is
listened to it
Disco.
hours
Looked at
before the
chat.
show, and I usually will message Matt as soon as I know or guess it, so that then it means that Cameron still has to use it.
Well, to be fair, Cameron could also message me if he knew what
He
it is.
could, yeah, that's
But he
totally
doesn't.
fair as well. But yeah, it's Disco Inferno.
It is Disco Inferno. The question is, do you know who sings it?
Too
Is
many
it
names.
is it the wrestler or the song?
The song. It is
Okay,
the song, and it's
cool.
not 50 Cent.
Mhm.
Just in case you were going to go with that.
Why would anybody go with 50 Cent?
I mean, I like
I'm-
what?
well,
I like 50
this is-
Cent.
No, this is Matt saying he doesn't know anything about wrestlers.
Yeah, I actually don't know anything about Red.
Wait,
Well, that's
50
actually
Cent was a
not-
wrestler?
No, I'm just.
Oh,
I'm so
my God.
confused. There's going to be a lot of... I feel like the Achievement Hunting community has a lot of people in there that follow wrestling. And
Yeah. Look, gamers have a thing about wrestling. I don't get it. I mean, like,
David,
I
you can Google it. That's fine.
I know a little bit. But yes, it's Disco Inferno by the Tramps. That's Tramps with 2 M's.
Tramp
I
stamps
think-
or...
It's a classic. It's a classic. There's a bunch of versions of it. If you actually listen to the song, you'll definitely have heard it, Cameron.
Yeah, I like the Burn Baby Burn.
Yeah,
bit. I
yeah.
recognize that. That's it.
Yeah.
I knew it would have been a song prior to 2000s, but I had no idea.
I mean, to be fair, disco is the first word in the title, so you can probably get an
Yeah.
idea of what
Okay.
era that it's from.
Yeah.
But yes, okay, good job, Charlotte. Yeah, I wouldn't expect anyone to know who actually sang the song because I think it was pretty much their one hit. I think they might have had a couple other medium hits. It's been a while since I've looked. But good job. So I guess that's going to transition us to our question.
I was gonna bring up the
Yes.
thing David just said about not Xbox related, but God of War Ragnarok is getting some big review scores.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I was
Well, we knew that it was going to be good either
Yeah,
way.
Okay, so I feel funny about this shit. I was watching Badjo, who used to do Good Game. You two might not be aware of
I'm
Bajo?
vaguely
Bajo, yeah.
Bajo. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
vaguely aware. I don't really.
All right. So for international listeners,
Very
I guess the
Australian.
Kiwis, yeah. There was a ABC show, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, that did Good Game, and Good Game was hosted by, like, had two hosts. One of them is actually now both of them are Twitch streamers. But he was streaming God of War earlier, and I just jumped into the chat, and I was just like, I was just watching the gameplay, and I'm like, this is like God of War is still fun, yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I can't argue that it's not a good game, but
It's a great game.
I don't like, just like watching it from a, I guess, just a viewer's perspective. I don't see how it's better than the originals.
I mean, as someone who hasn't played a God of War since 2, back on the PlayStation 2, it's hard for me to comment. But like, I mean, I've watched a playthrough of someone play through all of the original game, and it's looked incredible. And like, I love everything about it. It looks, I love the story and I love the characters.
I have played 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen anything for the new one.
So-
Although Dio has promised me that if he does buy a PlayStation 5, that I'll get to play God of War when I go visit.
So, like, I've just seen people playing 2018 before, and like, visually it looks amazing, but I don't know if it's just me, but can anybody that has played God of War explain to me, like, what's the appeal past, like, you know, the original trilogy? We've played those games. It has such a, like, you know, combo hitter kind of, you know, raw
That
fury,
and the story,
godlike
the
feel
story's
to it.
great.
action fighter, yeah.
Yeah, action fighter. And like, that was always the appeal for God of War games for me. And then I watched like the 2018 stuff, and it just feels like, you know, there's puzzle elements chucked in and all that, which is fine, but
Well,
it
there
just-
were always elements of puzzles in the first ones anyway, just very
Yeah.
small scale. Like, most of it was in the combat, but there were like small puzzles all spread out.
Yeah.
And I think they just built on that a little bit more going forward. Like,
you get what I'm trying to say, though. Like, the
Yeah.
original trilogy feels very much like you're playing as a god. Like, it's very action heavy and all that, whereas in 2018 just feels like slower pace, which I'd say, like, you know, lends into the story and that a bit more. But like, watching somebody play it, I just don't see how that would be more enjoyable than the original trilogy.
But I think the thing is, Cameron, is that you are not a story gamer, and I think that
Yeah.
the thing is that
that's
like,
going to change things for you as well, because you just won't play it the same way. But the Moonzom just said better story, and you get more customizable gear. Really like the Valkyrie fights, which
Is there okay?
Yeah.
I haven't played God of War in a while, but is there anything in it these days, like in the newer ones, that is to the same scale as like the Hydra fight, which was the start of
the beginning of the first game on the boat? Yeah.
Like, I remember that so vividly. Like, that was such an engaging fight, and then I watch other streamers play, and I just don't get that same sense of scale.
Well, it's different. Like, it's a very different. I mean, I think part of that is perspective. So I mean, and again, we're talking about God of War on an Xbox podcast, but
which is hilarious. But I mean, it is the biggest thing that's come out this week, right? So
That's
it makes
true.
sense.
So I think
Either
that,
way.
I mean, like, sense of scale has always been something that they ramped up from the very beginning of from God of War. I remember, like, I don't know if you guys ever read Penny Arcade. I used to read them religiously when I was a teenager. One of their panels was just like, okay, so I started killing an entire city. My Spartans invaded, and I fought the Colossus of Rhodes, and you know, and basically killed Zeus. And it was like, wow. And it's like, wow. So this is the end of the game. It's like, this is the first level. This is the tutorial. And it just gets more ridiculous from there. I mean, like, 3 opens up with like even more ridiculous shit. The game is I think, well, from what I see of, again, I haven't played Ragnarok, but I know a little bit about 2018's God of War. It's definitely smaller in scale, but it's a more personal story, right? Because I think that the story in God of War, I mean, they tried to evolve it a bit more in 3, but 1 and 2 is angry man is angry, wants to kill God. That's pretty much it, right? There was, like, Kratos didn't have a lot of characterization outside of being a rage machine.
It's very
with
much
chained arms.
Dante's Inferno, isn't it?
Well, Dante's Inferno was afterwards, but yes, that was the...
I mean, like, Dante's Inferno was based on the original...
I
mean the original text, not the game.
You mean the Divine Comedy? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Like the Divine Comedy is again that sort of Paradise Lost retelling of the sort of that sort of mythos, whereas this is the Greek version. Yeah, and whereas I think that, you know, the story is more about Kratos's relationship with being a god and also having a kid, and that was the driving force. Is that like in the same way that and David put in that every new PlayStation game is Uncharted, and it's kind of true, right? Naughty Dog kind of perfected it with kind of their over the shoulder
and then
cinematic.
just new skin kind of thing.
Kind of, right? And like I don't want to say that to be like derogatory or detracting from the amazing work they put into those games, right? But they are very similar in terms of their tone, and it's a very PlayStation thing. It's kind of their exclusive big blockbuster, like
they do that AAA
story game with you know, high production value, good voice acting, mocap, all that shit. And so like like Uncharted, and then of course Last of Us, for example, is like, hey, the big thing in the original Last of Us was Joel and Ellie, and this is kind of a similar sort of idea, except obviously with, you know, a Norse tone to it. And so there's still novelty to that, right? And I'm very curious, again, considering how the first game, the first reboot ended. They've got a lot that they can do with, you know, Norse mythology they can fuck with.
Heaps. There's so much they could go with that.
And I think that, like, overall, like, game quality wise, I think it's probably a better game in terms of its systems and its and how it works. It just kind of, but it's a different kind of thing. It's a over the shoulder. It has elements of things like Tomb Raider and Uncharted, where it's kind of like it's a bit more methodical. It's not as combo heavy. That's still in there, but it's more about planning and execution and techniques. And it's slower paced. Whereas it's not as frenetic. Not to say that like
Matt using his big words again.
Yeah, like Moonzom said, like the Valkyrie fights are also fucking insane. If you like, those fights are like a real testament to like skill and like timing and abilities and all kinds of shit. And like, I'm the kind of person who's going to play all those games, if I ever do play them, on the easiest difficulty that I can, just because I want to go through the experience and, you know, do all the story stuff and just kind of have a good time, because I don't really like being challenged. I'm mentally challenged enough as is. But I think that like it's a very different tone, both from a gameplay and a story perspective. Like Kratos is an older dude. He's got a beard. He has a kid. His wife is dead again. His other wife is now dead again. But
you just can't catch a break.
Well, no, that is the story, right? Like he was angry.
That's the whole fucking point of all of the stories. Every time he does catch a break, some fucking shit happens, and he has to go back through the whole thing again.
Gods fuck him over. He ends up in Hades yet again.
He becomes a new Ares, and then anyway,
yeah. So I was like, you know, it's the stages of grief. He was angry, and now he's sad. You know, and he dabbles in being angry again, but he also doesn't like going into that.
So the next one's going to be denial, then, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there'll be bargaining.
And then acceptance.
Like God of War, like Merchant Simulator.
Yeah, sure.
Oh my God,
exactly.
Imagine.
But like, one of my favorite parts of the original game, and this is actually, I don't know if I want to spoil it, but there is a part where it harkens back to the original series, because a lot of people are like, is this the same Kratos? And it's like, yes, it very much is. And there's some references to it, and there's a part where they're like, okay, he needs to actually get back in touch with like his angry side, because he needs that power of a god, because he's the god of war. And it's really, really cool. And so like, I don't know anything about Ragnarok, because I haven't read reviews, because obviously it doesn't really apply to me. I'll either play it or I won't, but I don't own a PS5 or anything like that. So I'll probably have to wait till it comes to PC. And even then, I'll have to update this Rust bucket.
You need a new graphics card.
Look, I'm running a 1070 and it's good, but like it's getting a bit long in the tooth. So I'm thinking about, I'm looking at maybe a 380 at some stage, but we'll say a 3080. Anyway, so that's all I have to say about God of War. I'm curious. I'm glad that it's getting 10 out of 10s, because I think that's the kind of game that really people should be celebrating, and I want more of, because those are the kinds. That's funny enough. Like, even beyond Xbox, those are the kinds of games that I enjoy. So yeah, it's like, I kind of backed the wrong horse on that one, but I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, like the PS2 ones appeal to me more.
Sure,
and that's why I still have a PS2, kind of thing. If I ever have that inkling, I can go back and, you know, pick up a copy and play it.
Those game draws are really fucking hard. I
don't know. It's been like forever since I played it.
I'm not good with the whole combo system things. Like I'm not good at it for Bayonetta. I'm not good at it for Devil May Cry. You know, it's just Ninja Gaiden. So it's like I just struggle with
That's
that.
why my fingers are like fucking so many button presses. You know.
Exactly.
Anyway,
all right. Let's get on to our actual question though. Isaac, our wonderful question answer extraordinaire, has come back and says, "Hey guys, which are the best games for stacking, and which game without a stack would you enjoy stacking over and over?" It sounds like a euphemism. Thanks for the show, Isaac.
I quite liked my answer.
Your answer was good. I did laugh at that. Yes.
So I picked the game stacking from Double Fine, which is absolute indie darling. If you go and check it out in Game Pass,
probably should be.
I'm sure it is in Game Pass.
Stacking, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's a game where you play a bunch of Russian nesting dolls, and you have to try and nest into larger dolls to learn their abilities and solve puzzles. It's very, very cute.
Also, thank you, Isaac, for using the right terminology. It is called it is called stacking and not double dipping.
You almost fucked up there.
I nearly fucked up.
Freudian.
I was going to be like, what the fuck, Cameron?
This is
okay,
Mike just trying to get into my head.
Yeah, but Mike doesn't listen to the podcast,
That's
so
true.
we're fine. So everyone who does listen will be like, no, it's stacking.
Yeah.
Double dipping.
I think stacking is, yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
like you're sticking your fingers in something. Yeah.
All right. That's the shocker. Slightly different.
That's what she said.
What is I mean you haven't played too many games to start with in terms of like on Xbox and then again on other platforms or anything like that. But is there anything that sort of springs to mind for this question?
To me, so there are a lot of games I wish I could stack. Like there are a lot that I was like, I want to play through that again. I wish I could play through that again on the PC. Because now that I've actually got a PC, I can play games on, right? Like it's decent enough that I could actually run the majority of games out there.
And you've got cloud streaming options as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got multiple options. But I haven't really had the opportunity to stack games aside from ones like Lost Pages and what was another one that I did? I'm pretty sure I've done a couple, but I can't think of them off the top of my head right now. But I do actively look at it. Like I want to stack games, especially now that I can. But it really depends on the game. I don't want to stack a massive, huge game. The only one I would want to that is a longer game is Control.
Yeah.
Because I own the PC one, so I can do it. And I want to see what that's like. Like, aside from doing it on my Xbox where I had all of the shitty maps and I want to play the version that is actually upgraded properly. And not have to be like, oh my god, okay, the map is fucking up again.
The Ultimate Edition is definitely the way to play that game.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I want to play it and just play it because I didn't really do that last time either. So this is that's the one game that I really do want to stack, and have thought about a lot. Yeah. Aside from that, I don't really have a good answer for this. Because I haven't really done much of it yet. I'm getting there. But
what about Plague Tale, for example?
If I had more time,
cool.
Yes, I would have stacked Plague Tale. But those are the kind of games that I really enjoy because I can actually complete them. It's not not an unobtainable game for me. They are actually tough, but I can still get the completion for them. So then I would definitely stack it.
For sure.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god, the Outfield Escape. I would love to play that through again. Yeah. Or all of my favorites. I would love to do that. I would love to do Unpacking again. If Unpacking had a stack on the PC, I'd do it again, and actually just enjoy it because I loved Unpacking. I loved Omno. I loved the Outfield Escape. All of those nice little indies. I'd do heaps of those if they were available to stack them on the PC.
I would do the Artful Escape, but I would do it with a guitar controller.
Yeah, no.
That would make
we tested it. It works.
Yeah. Yep, it does work. You did test it.
It would be a very cool feeling. I'm just trying to think of how to frame this question. I don't have any that come to mind specifically, other than Human Fall Flat. But Human Fall Flat is a very weird case because it had a Windows version, an Xbox version, and then the Xbox version became a Play Anywhere.
Yeah.
And then the
The Windows version.
The Windows version became discontinued.
Yeah, and that's why Mike has the first
Yep.
in the Human Fall Flat on the PC.
Yeah. The optimal game to stack would be a 20 to 25 hour story game that doesn't overstay its welcome, like Plague Tale. But past
What
that,
about medium?
Yeah, medium.
Can you stack medium?
No, but something like that.
But that would have been perfect for it, right?
Yeah, that kind of game would be. I don't really care for the medium myself enough to revisit it, but that kind of game would be suitable for that.
Imagine stacking Dear Esther.
Oh god, like walking sims.
Okay. The main thing though, like so many of the stacks that I actually do for PC are just Zidalon games and that I get gifted.
Yeah.
Like that.
Because they're relatively easy to do.
I always don't even count those, right? Because it's like that's literally just for the score. Right?
Or like visual novels or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna list games that I haven't really dove into too much yet, but Frostpunk, stuff like that too. Like this is the thing. I don't want a 200-hour experience that's going to feel like a drag, but if there's something like that's based around a really strong gameplay loop that I keep finding myself coming back over and over to, and I get like, I get all the achievements on Xbox, I'll probably wait 2 years, have that scratch itch. Like Age of Empires for me was like something that I played religiously back in my childhood. Now, 2019, I've put in over 800 hours.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if it hits Xbox and I doubt it's going to be a stack. It's going to be a play anywhere. But if it was a stack, I'm going to do Age of Empires 2 again on console because I love the game so much.
I think that's where I'm at. I would only really stack them if I loved them.
Yeah. The other thing too is because with stacking between PC and there's another angle we can look at this too. There's the stack of going from 360 to Xbox One or like the current system. There's the differences between like PC and consoles, the differences between your really weird cases where you might be doing Windows like what is it, Solitaire Collection and that? Like doing something on a phone and that kind of stuff as well. Less common now, obviously, because of the Windows phones shutting down.
Yeah, and the fact that like if you Solitaire you can do via the PC and then phone and they're the same, they're linked. So it's not like you can really like whatever you do on the PC version is gonna happen on the phone. So.
Yeah, well that's true too. Like even Destiny 360, like unlocking like that was my fastest completion for 360 because everything unlocked in like less than 5 minutes. Except for the last 3 achievements I got to go back and do. The other thing too is a lot of the Windows versions that I am interested in is stuff that's like not optimized as well. So I wouldn't say the experience is going to be subpar, but it's going to be subpar to your experience on console. And I know that was the case with Control.
Yeah.
Windows was really janky for Control, so I'm trying to think of any other examples. But yeah, like it will be stuff that I want to revisit that I like Telltale I can get. There's been that many different versions of it. If it was the case of
Telltale games would be quite good to stack.
The thing is too, like nobody's forcing you to do them like straight after another. Best thing for that is probably to go like, all right, I'm going to play the console version or the Windows version first. I'm going to wait a few years and then I'm going to do it.
Leave Control.
Yeah. Leave you enough time to forget the story and then just be pleasantly reminded of story beats. Like, oh, I completely forgot this. Like, it's fine if you like the kind of gist of the story still, but I kind of want to like rediscover stuff. That's why people watch TV shows from their youth and that kind of stuff. But
that's also like an anxiety thing though.
Sometimes it's just it's a comfort thing too.
It is a comfort thing because it's easier to watch something that you've already seen because then you don't have to like think about what's coming next. Yeah. I also realized that I can't really talk on this because I've literally only stacked 2 things and I'm not even going to say which ones I've stacked.
Like for me, that's the antithesis of why I play video games, right? Like I have stacked a lot of stuff, but it has almost all been for achievements and not for pleasure.
Yeah.
Having said that, like I kind of like the cheating answer of this, where something that I played as a kid is now getting remastered or brought back now with achievements of something that I haven't played. So like when they brought Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 over and put achievements on it.
Does that count as stacking though?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't really. That's kind of so that's the only real instance where it's like it's been enough time since I played the thing that I kind of want to play it again as my current self, as opposed to my 10, 12-year-old self.
Yeah.
I would say the thing that I probably enjoyed stacking the most is probably the original Bioshock 1 Bioshock 1 and 2. Mainly because they have a shitload of stacks. Because you've got the originals, you've got the remaster, you've got the PC version, you've got the like Russian version, you've got Korean versions, you've got like Japanese, German versions. Like there's so many fucking versions of those games. And I played most of them. I love those games just in general because, again, they're relatively easy. But I enjoy the creativity that you can do with the plasmids. I love the story and the environment. But I'm also not the kind of person who rewatches shows or movies that they've seen unless, I'm making someone else watch them with me. I know people I keep talking about I should really go back and watch Star Wars. I haven't
You don't need
watched.
To. You don't need
No,
to.
the thing is I haven't gone back and watched a Star Wars movie. I don't even remember the last time I've watched.
See, that's shocking because I do that once a year.
See,
I go back. I do the whole lot once a year.
I always think about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I should go back and watch that. But it's like I know every beat of those movies. Like the thing is, I have a mind like a steel trap.
It's a trap.
It is. Yes. No, I'm not going to like that joke. But it's I have a real good memory for story beats and stories and things like that. So and story is the reason I play video games. I don't think I've found many gameplay loops that have made me go, fuck yes, I want to get on that, or I want to, that's really, really grabbing me. It's the kind of thing where a good gameplay loop will get me through the slow parts of a story or let me push through things.
The thing is too, a good gameplay loop is not indicative of a good story. Something like
definitely.
Vampire Survivors, that something that I barely knew anything about, why are people getting addicted to this?
It's all gameplay loop.
It has all gameplay loop, but it's so fantastic that it's it's that mobile phone kind of feeling, yeah?
It's the same thing with Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's why those things just haven't really appealed to me, right? Because I'm like, if it doesn't have a big narrative hook, that's why I've been so obsessed with Persona, right? It's not the gameplay, although I do enjoy the visual novel, social stuff of it. And the combat is good, and I like the JRPG. It's two genres that I quite like. The story is what's keeping me pushing through. It's the reason I'm 75 hours into it.
The style would be playing a big factor into it as well for you.
I mean, look, it's a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Easy. It is a absolutely fucking fantastic game, and I'll talk more about it. But that's kind of a perfect mesh of all the things that I like about video games all in one. But having to redo Telltale games is a fucking chore. I hate it. When things are leaving Game Pass now, I seriously weigh up whether I want to do the PC stack. So for example, I've been playing Superland, and I'm enjoying it. But I know that again, there's no story there. It's all there is a story, but it's very, very light. It's all gameplay. Yeah. But it's literally just going to be the same puzzles, the same combat, the same stuff that I'm going to be doing that I've just done. I usually like to do the thing where it's I'll play a game when it enters Game Pass, and then I'll do the stack when it's leaving or something along those, or later down the line when I have time. But yeah, it doesn't the idea of stacks really don't appeal to me. I really rather just play through an experience, have a great experience, and just kind of move on with my life because there are too many other games to play, and too many other experiences.
So many games, and that tends to be why I don't end up stacking anything because I just don't have the time.
Yeah,
I don't have the time to play one game, let alone go and do the same game again. Yeah.
I mean, look. If the stack is under 10 hours, then I'm probably just going to do it because that's a day for me. I can do it. I can just sit down and get it done. Superland's probably going to take 15. I probably will just do the stack because it's only the 4th and I'm nearly finished. Well, I'm about maybe halfway through my first playthrough, so it's I probably will do the stack, but maybe not straight away.
Yeah.
But it is competing with Persona at the moment, so So it's a hard ask. But yeah, I hope that that answers your question there, Isaac. Stacks are an interesting one, and we've kind of seen them kind of move away from now that Play Anywhere is kind of the thing, and we're having single lists.
Cloud gaming, because there's no like.
Yeah, single list, everything's one version. We're seeing less stacks than we used to, but also more in terms of like they're just more games, but less of them stacks, I guess. All right. Well, let's get into the news. Cameron, I want to hear. I saw the story the other day that Phil Spencer's interview. I think it was the same interview that was talked about the Game Pass stuff, or is this a separate interview?
I think so, but I'm not entirely sure. Do you want to take this for 2 minutes? I just need to answer.
Yeah, all good. So Phil Spencer basically acknowledged that it has been quote unquote too long since Xbox's big first party game. Which, I mean, to be fair, I don't think is a hugely controversial statement. It's basically a fact at this point.
I mean, it is the truth.
Microsoft's
this is where the whole comment Xbox has no games comes from, right? Like, even though we do have games, we just don't have games.
There's not a big first party stuff. It's like Microsoft's head of gaming has acknowledged that it's been a quiet year for first party Xbox titles, but claimed that 2023 will be far busier. Which I think is fair. I mean, there's only five games have been published by Xbox this year.
Yeah. And one of them is Pentiment, which will be the only first party.
Yeah, which is crazy. Yeah. And like that's coming out later this month, so I'm excited for that. It looks really interesting. But yeah, it's so
just to list the other ones too. As Does Falls, which was indie developed. Forza 5 expansion, which I'll be honest, like a lot of people did enjoy Hot Wheels. I don't think it was anywhere near as good as 3.
I think it was fine.
It was fine, but you haven't played 3.
No, it's true. But like I was like, I didn't.
I mean, like it wasn't offensive or anything. It was just okay for me. Whereas that's the feeling that I've gotten with Forza Horizon 5. Like 4 to me was the standout. I love 3 because it's Australia, because it's close to home. 4 though just did everything brilliantly, and by the end was like just a 10 out of 10 game.
Sure.
Forza Horizon 5 just felt like it didn't push any. Visually, it was stunning and all that, but like there wasn't anything. The wheels weren't like round enough. That's all it was.
Always the problem. Always the problem. Yeah, they gave you performance mode, make the wheels more square.
MGB said like 4 had the best expansion in the Lego one. It might just be the fact too, like with Hot Wheels, you're not really reinventing the wheel there.
No, it's very much about the Hot Wheels brand as such, right?
And before we were guessing like, what are they going to do? Are they going to do like a Transformers or like something silly? Like
they kind of just went back to it.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to do a Lego expansion afterwards, after this one, to be like they just do both. It wouldn't surprise me. And then also, like Age of Empires, their re-release, and then Obsidian's Grounded, which has been a game preview for a fair while now, but it got it sort of
Grounded is something that we all should really like. We got carried through the the early versions, but like it looks like a pretty solid game that we could have a lot of fun with.
I mean, I'm sure it is. Survival crafting is very much like, again, you want to talk about like lack of story in games, like holy shit. But to be fair, they have actually put a bit of
the kids.
Yeah, they actually have
put giant spiders that freak me out, and I'm like,
well, they do have an arachnophobia setting, which is actually quite fun.
Yes, I've seen it.
See, I've played a little bit of Grounded with like I don't think I spoke about it on the podcast, but I played a little bit with like Cadden and Newbie and Rose, and Rose is just terrified of spiders. So of course, like building a base near 2 spiders was the first thing that we did, and
of course
she just absolutely hated it. So funny.
The worst would be if you did it if there were wasps or bees, and you put me anywhere near that. I have an irrational fear of them. So if you even do that, no, I would literally turn the game off. That's my one limit.
See, it's funny. Like I'm meant to be allergic to bees, and I just get, just don't care.
I had some really dickhead kids in my upbringing, so I just no.
Be kind. I guess like this is sort of, again, like many of our stories have been recently, sort of an extension of conversations we've already had around like where the fuck are the games. Their last kind of big release was what, Halo, and we saw how that's gone for them.
Yeah, Halo was like, yeah.
Even
I don't know.
Last year felt like there was more games last year. Like we had a lot more to talk about games wise last year. But there was a lot of indies.
2021 though, like the N2 had like a massive hurrah in terms of quality for Microsoft, and that was Flight Sim. Flight Sim on console was when in the year? September?
Yeah, like it was towards the end of the year.
Yeah, so then you had that. You had Age of Empires 4 in October. You had Forza Horizon 5, and then you had Halo Infinite. And Halo Infinite, like, look, there's a lot of conversation we can have about Halo Infinite, like not hitting the mark. Yeah,
there's a lot of conversation we have had about Halo Infinite not hitting the mark.
Like back then, though, in terms of like getting new content, it was fantastic.
Yes, although to be fair, you know, like it was very backloaded, and at that time we looked at those lists and we said, okay, that's great, but like you still like that's still like not a huge number, right? Like that's still like that's okay. But we were
it
like,
might just be my thing personally though, because you're giving me one series that I'm really interested in, Flight Sim, which I played a little bit. I'm like, all right, this is cool.
Sure.
I wasn't heavily invested in.
To be fair, it was a port, but yes,
that too. But then even getting Flight Sim on console, I think, like, I mean, it's Flight Sim.
Sure.
And I mean, like, that in the best possible way is, like, it's...
To be fair, the kind of weird people who like those kinds of games tend to be on PC anyway, but yes, I agree.
Anyway. But then you're giving me my probably favorite free franchises on Xbox or through Microsoft. Age of Empires, I've been fucking addicted to 2 in the last 2 weeks. Forza Horizon 5, look, it's nowhere as near as good as 4, but you know how I feel about Forza Horizon. I will sit down, I will play it for hours on end. I spent like 50 hours in the first few days. Similar to how you feel about Persona, Matt. Like I just get into it, I do races, and I listen to podcasts. And then Halo Infinite was just, it was really enjoyable, but I'm still waiting for like the meat and potatoes. Like I want the co-op experience. I want the extra achievements. I want the, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, in terms of other stuff coming though, like it kind of makes me think like next year, it makes me think like whether we're going to get like a 2023 where we get a whole bunch of games dumped again and then 2024 is quiet kind of thing.
I think that's kind of what
they will do it.
I think that's what we were talking about, right? Yeah. We were like, COVID has kind of hit everyone badly. Everything got pushed. But we keep saying that. And even Phil Spencer says here, it's like, hey, you know, we're excited about 2023 and we talked about the games that are coming. Those games are tracking well and we're out of what COVID did to the production schedule. Yeah. So it's like 2023 apparently is going to be the year.
Yeah, everything's sort of starting to get back to normal. So like,
yeah. So as an industry, we've had fewer games this holidays than we've had in a while. And when you think about the launches, Call of Duty's coming, God of War is coming, which is great. Nintendo had a good year, but in general, I'd say we've been pretty light, which I think is fair, right? There hasn't really been, like, I was complaining about it when we did the podcast around kind of looking at the rest of this year. There wasn't really a lot on there that was jumping out at me, which is good because Persona's taken up all my fucking time. But
see, I feel the exact opposite at the moment. Like, it's not first party stuff, but I know October and November are especially busy for me because I want to check out, I'll talk about Gunfire Reborn, but I've enjoyed my time with that so far.
I have my one that I'm ready to talk about, like that I have been talking about for fucking years, and it's finally coming, and I'm just like, win.
What, Somerville?
No.
What one?
Monkey Island.
Oh, Monkey Island.
Return to Monkey Island. Okay. Which is like my absolute all-time favorite game ever.
Can I just say with Monkey Island too? Woke up the other day to that news and I was just like, how the hell does Switch only have a 2-month exclusive with it?
I don't know.
It was September launch.
Wake up. It's only literally been out for 2 months.
Yeah. I didn't even realize it had come out.
I did, but that's because I follow it.
Yeah, I was very interested because it's just kind of one of those games though that I can sit down with Percy and play, and it's like you know, a little bit of humor.
It's been out on Switch, Nintendo Switch and Steam.
First week of September, something right?
It's. Let me.
I'm sure it's September. I'm like 99% positive of September.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 19th of September. So it's been out since the 19th of September, which is why I was like, I was very, very tempted to get it on Steam, but it's coming
Game Pass.
4 days. 4 days. I literally have 4 days to wait.
Cool.
So next week, next podcast, I'll be talking about Monkey Island because I'm like, this might get me back into gaming. Like,
so in terms of the games that are like around this time of year, Vampire Survivors immediately became addicted with because it's so fucking fun. Plague Tale I still need to play. And then even then I want to go back to Innocence and finish Innocence off before I do Plague Tale Requiem. Persona I want to check out myself, but I feel like I don't even need to play it because I can live my experience through Matt.
Truth. Yeah.
I mean, if you don't like story, you're not going to play it.
We're probably just going to have like a spoiler cast where Matt just, talks to me.
He's going to have to wait.
I need to have someone else play it. Yeah.
You have to wait. I will not play it until 3's out. I'm going to play 3 first because I, again, like Dio's advice. I want to play it the first earlier game first and work my way through.
It'll be a series spoiler cast between you, Valak, you two and Valak.
Oh yeah. We'll get the 3 of us.
Yeah,
me, Matt, and Dio, and we'll just chat about it.
So there's that. There's Somerville. There's Return to Monkey Island. There's Pentiment, which I barely know anything about. Like
it
at
looks
all.
Great though. I'm
looks
excited.
amazing.
I like Obsidian, so yeah.
Yeah, and it's that same kind of style from like
Procession to Cavalry.
Yeah, Procession to Cavalry.
Sort of.
Kind of very similar, but
not quite as Monty Python.
All right. I don't know if I'm looking at Rose
stupid.
Tinted Island. Rose
tinted glasses.
Yeah, right now. Yep, words. But have Obsidian missed at all? Like I can even think back to like New Vegas having such a short development like time and still hitting with that.
It depends on how you define miss, I guess.
Polished experiences.
Polished experiences, that's not their MO. They don't do polished experiences. They do really interesting experiences that are a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Like I love New Vegas.
Been very lucky.
I love New Vegas, right? That game is the buggiest of all of the Fallout games that have ever been made, and that's saying something.
Okay.
They did because they basically their big claim to fame was doing the second Knights of the Old Republic game. Because BioWare did the first one, they did the second one. The second one is better, but it's also missing big chunks of it. It was incomplete when it got put out. It was very, very buggy, but it has a much more interesting story. Neverwinter Nights 2, they did Alpha Protocol, which again, Alpha Protocol is their massive take on doing Mass Effect, but with spies. I love that game. It is a absolute fucking nightmare. It is really, really cool. Some really great ideas. But it was unfinished, buggy. I actually knew a guy who was one of the testers on it, and he's like, if you play that game, if you crouch, the game doesn't quite work properly because they didn't have time to program in a different movement speed for the walking and the crouched walking. So his legs just speed up to match it to make sure that you're going to Fallout New Vegas, Dungeon Stage 3, which was okay. I enjoyed the game, but it was fun. They did Stick of Truth, obviously, which was good.
I really like Stick of Truth.
I
am actually looking forward to the next South Park game. I know it's not getting developed by them, but
no, because they didn't do thing either. They didn't do the second one. The Fractured Butthole.
Nobody talks about like how good the South Park games are, though.
Stick of Truth was good. I like Stick of Truth. Fractured Butthole was also okay. They did Pillars of Eternity as well, which is kind of their big, obviously, I think they kickstarted that, right? So that was obviously, people were very fucking excited about that. Tyranny, which did okay. Pillars of Eternity, Outer Worlds, Grounded, Pediment, and then Avowed, which has been announced years ago, and we haven't heard anything about in a long time.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how Avowed goes. We need to go and play Outer Worlds.
So anytime Obsidian announces something, I'm always excited. Like, because they're a story first, gameplay second company for the most part, and that's what I'm here for, right? Like, I can deal with bugs and bullshit if it's an interesting experience. I'm definitely excited for Pentiment.
Yeah.
Are we going to play Sanic?
I'm getting it, and I'm going to play it with Percy. So
of course. That makes sense. It makes sense for you to get it.
Yeah,
because it's such a huge thing. I mean, I would consider it.
The thing is, I've still got money left over at EB, It's going to be an early Christmas present for her. She hasn't been able to see me for a month because of the flood, so it feels like the perfect present.
Yeah.
She loves Sonic more than Paw Patrol, more than Bluey, more than any of that kids, you know.
She really does love it.
And the new Netflix series is also coming out in December, like mid-December too, so we're probably going to watch that together.
Right.
Yeah, David, Sonic Frontiers over God of War Ragnarok.
Yep.
Outer Worlds was awesome. Nice 15-hour mini Fallout in space. That's the thing. Like, I think it has from what I've played of Outer Worlds, it has the right tone.
Yeah,
Like that humor kind of.
I have not forgotten that you pulled it out of the hat, and I still need to play it. But I just haven't got around to it.
I'm trying to get Ben on the podcast too, and I haven't forgot about Doom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I guess and then Somerville's coming out, which I'm very excited about. So that's 15th. So I'm definitely I'll have a look at the achievements, but I'm very fucking excited. Warzone 2, I don't really care about. Goat Simulator 3. I mean, like I don't know, Goat Simulator.
That sounds like fun to me. I don't.
Yeah, like Goat Simulator is a meme game, right? It's like if it was coming to Game Pass, I'd jump on it straight away. But
yeah, true.
What else is there?
Dark Pictures Anthology, which
Devil.
Yeah,
Devil and Me.
The Devil and Me. Fuck yeah, definitely gonna play that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so interesting. Like how did you get on about what was the first one called?
Man of Medan.
Man of Medan. Was Man of Medan through word of mouth, or was it you just really appealed to the content?
It was a bit of word of mouth. It was also how successful Until Dawn was.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
And so that was the one. Is that like no one was shut the fuck up about how good Until Dawn was.
Yep.
And so I watched a playthrough of it because obviously it was PlayStation exclusive. And I was like, this is great. Like again, it's all narrative. And interesting choices, and the mocap's kind of weird, and it's kind of janky. And like the Dark Pictures games, in terms of their content, in terms of their engine, have gotten better over the years. I really enjoyed House of Sand.
Yeah.
Actually, like I've enjoyed all of them, to be honest.
I still haven't played it yet. It's something that I probably should get around to, but then I don't know. Maybe it just seems too walky sim for me.
Oh, it is. It's a walking sim decision making, quick time event playing. Like it's
there's a lot of quick time. I'm yet to play it, so
yeah. We talk about movie games. Like fuck me, that's what that is. Evil West. Oh, did they get delayed?
That got delayed. Nikita is really keen for Evil West. I don't know why. Like it looks good, but I don't know why she specifically is so keen for Evil West.
Yeah.
But then again, she is also the kind of person that loves anything Mortal Kombat. So
yeah, so
it's Aaron Black.
It's just weird coming from my girlfriend. Just seems like the kindest, sweetest thing ever, and just loves fucking like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
fatalities.
That's true. It is pretty funny. We've had multiple conversations about it. So.
Callisto Protocol, I'm keen for, but not on launch keen.
I'm keen for when they retract their statements and it comes to Game Pass and they stop overworking their workers. Maybe I'll think about it. But
yeah.
Marvel's Midnight Suns,
not really. I mean, it's an XCOM-like game. I want to see how difficult the achievements are and how bullshit it is. What the percentage stats are, because XCOM is like you want to talk about frustrating games. Holy shit! I love XCOM, but fuck those aliens.
High on Life.
Yeah, I'll play it.
It looks funny.
I really like Justin Roiland's work, so I'm interested to see how janky it is. Seeing like they're going from what was it, mobile games to VR games. Squanch Games is VR, yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay, they worked on like another system to it. And the other one that people haven't been going on about enough, Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII.
Crisis Core. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
December, mid-December.
No, they haven't said anything about it. I
mean, it's okay. This is a hard thing. Yeah, it's one of those ones that it's a PlayStation title. Yeah. PlayStation. It's coming to all platforms, but is it a PlayStation title?
Yeah.
And I feel, what's the right way to word this? I feel like there are some Japanese publishers that don't want to push their titles onto other platforms because of exclusivity agreements and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just put in the too hard basket because we've had JRPGs and that not sell, like, get ported over to Xbox and just not sell well. And I'm kind of worried, like, well, even Octopath Traveler, for example, yeah? 2's only coming to Switch and PlayStation?
Oh, is it? I knew it was coming to Switch. I don't know if it didn't know it was coming
I'm
to
not sure about PlayStation, actually.
But because it was originally on Switch. Like, that was the original release for it.
But it kind of makes me wonder, though, like, in the 360, we got a few JRPGs for that.
All of which I played.
Yep.
Yep.
It kind of makes me wonder, like, if we're not supporting JRPGs coming to Xbox, whether we go... Xbox is going to continuously try and get those games on the console, but we don't need to give them excuses to not have them on there.
I mean, that's why I'm playing Persona when it came out. Like, I downloaded it straight away because it was like first of all, I was very excited for it because I've been hearing about it for a long time, but also because I want to support those kinds of games coming over.
Okay, separate the Persona and Yakuzas though from the indie. Like, I wouldn't say, Octopath Traveler would be like a
not really. That's a Square product, isn't it? Like, that's. I was gonna say that's pretty far from indie as you can get.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair point. I'm just trying to think of a proper example, but you know what I mean, like. Give an excuse to have Japanese developers put their games on all consoles.
Well, the thing is that like Japanese developers in general for sure definitely need to be doing more of that. But the Japanese, like, I would think it was that thing that when we were at PAX, Charlotte will remember this from when we went to the keynote, right? And was talking about how in the indie scene in Japan is really only kind of starting up for console stuff because it's never happened there because of how the other shit happened with like mobile and also
because mobile's so much bigger, like
and it was also basically it was like if you wanted to work in game dev, you basically just got scooped up by one of the Japanese developers or publishers, and it's like the indie scene just didn't have a chance to explode like it did in the West, mainly because entrepreneurship and individuality aren't necessarily looked on as
is a good thing.
I'm trying to find a way of saying it, but basically yes, essentially in the East. But coming back to Crisis Core, I am excited for it. I actually completely forgot it was coming out, but like the
problem was that it got announced with the PlayStation 20. I want to say 25th anniversary, but I don't know if I'm mixing that with Age of Empires.
No, it wasn't. I think it was.
Was it 20th or 20th?
One of the state of plays, the 20th, I think, yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't state of play. It was like completely Final Fantasy.
I thought so. They announced it was that the next part of 7, and then
7,
and then 15.
Was 7 Requiem as well?
Yeah, Requiem I think was the second one. Yeah,
there was that. There was something else.
Final Fantasy 15.
Yep.
And then some mobile shit.
Some merch shit, the mobile shit, which is already been shut down.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Which is, oof. And then, Crisis Core. Like, I saw Crisis Core, and I'm like, all right, cool. We're not... Oh, and there was also the fact that Final Fantasy VII Remake went to Steam.
Yes.
That was the other thing. Which I probably should play it through Steam just to check it out. I'll just wait for a good sale. But, like, Crisis Core... Fuck, that was a good game on PSP. So I'll definitely be picking up day one. Going into next year, Dead Space Remake. I'm very interested to see how that goes. Dead Island 2. I probably will get that day one just to play it with Alex. Because I feel like, okay, it's going to sound weird
at this point.
Alex is going to heighten, make that experience better.
Sure. He will be so hyped for that game that it will be infectious.
Yeah,
like a zombie virus.
That's exactly it. Like it won't be a good game. It will be like a 5 out of 10. But playing with Alex will make it feel like an 8 or a 9.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
He's gonna hear this in like 2 weeks and just be like, "Oi!"
Look, he's just gonna be happy you're gonna play it with him.
Yeah, that's true. Hogwarts Legacy. I think Charlotte can talk about this one.
Yeah, it's just taking so fucking long to.
Has your hype died down?
Come out. Yeah, a wee bit, because I'm kind of just like, Now, like, maybe if it had come out this year, I would have still been super, super hype about it, right? And like, I've been looking forward to this for a while.
No, it's look, it's going to come out in the month of everything else coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, you say
like...
you say that looking at this list of stuff, I don't see anything on here that Charlotte is like, oh, February, yeah, that's my month.
But like,
it's like
not for me.
She's
like,
just excited.
One thing.
She's excited about the PlayStation VR too, and the 20 games that they're bringing out.
Nope.
Yeah, because I totally play VR.
All right.
Hogwarts... So I'm excited, but I'm just like, I don't know. The hype's died down a wee bit. It's kind of like, oh, I forgot about it for a while.
I don't know. I feel like this is going to be like one of those ones that I don't know why, but just Destroy All Humans 2 comes to mind. Yeah, something that doesn't like. I know that it's gonna get like a lot of attention because it's Harry Potter.
Because of what it is, yeah.
But then, for whatever reason in my mind, it feels like it's just not going to get the marketing kind. Like it's just going to slip in there with everything else.
I feel like they're banking on the popularity of Harry Potter
and not marketing those.
Well, because I haven't really heard anything about this since. And like the fact that we now have a date, February the 10th. Yeah. I didn't even know that until right now. Like that's saying something that they
unless you're
have
playing
not
on Switch.
Marketed. Yeah, unless you're playing on Switch. But I like which I won't be.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna play it on Xbox. But like that's the thing. Like I haven't really heard anything since we had what was the last one that we had was the gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a couple
that
months ago.
half-hour gameplay, which was I reckon that was back in May.
August, I think it wasn't that long
was
ago.
it?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think it was that long ago.
Maybe there was another one before.
But we're in November now, so it actually was quite a while ago.
Yeah, so like I'm sure there was another one earlier in the year that I'm thinking of because I don't remember seeing anything since then. I haven't looked at anything since then. But yeah, like aside from that, I haven't heard anything about it. Like no one's talking about it.
I'm not the kind of person who goes out and looks for ads and marketing, right?
Yeah.
But gaming marketing has definitely been a little quieter than usual. And I think it's partly because advertising dollars are a little tight at the moment across the board.
True.
But the other bit is that there's not really much point in hyping something pre-Christmas that's not going to come out till after Christmas. The other point is that it's being published by Warner Brothers, who are in a rough position at the moment in terms of their acquisitions and people getting laid off.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, if you look at the stuff that's going on with like DC, I'm really hoping that this game isn't affected by any of that. But I can't say I'm surprised that they're kind of holding off a little bit. Like, you know, I imagine post-Christmas, January, people will not shut the fuck up about this game.
Yep. And that's the thing too. I imagine people will start getting like game previews and that.
I think it's going to be pretty good.
The time, I reckon, after Christmas, New Year's, I reckon January, they'll start being hype. People will start talking about it.
People will start getting
like it's not out yet, so there's no point, right?
Yeah, reviewers will probably start getting preview like I imagine would start getting review kits before the holiday season. Have something to play, come back and talk about. And then hype it up leading to Feb. Feb is going to be crazy. There's a reason why one of our games is going to be launching like past Feb because of like fucking how nuts things are.
Yeah, Feb's where everything that didn't make it to November basically gets pushed, right?
Yeah.
December is usually pretty damn quiet. It's like first week.
Same with Jan because a lot of reviewers and that don't get back to like mid-Jan.
Yeah, it's like first week of December is like the cutoff of launching a game most of the time, and then it's like you need to be at least halfway through January, towards the end of January, before you start even thinking about putting out something else.
Yeah.
Like if we look at this list, it's like January is it's just basically what Dead Space, and that's it. And that's the 27th. Like that's the very last week of January.
Yeah.
And then February looks pretty busy.
Shortest month, you got to cram it all in there. Get every single game you can.
Well, that's because it's like financial year ends in the end of March. You want to get your game to have a long enough tail, so you get the game out there, get enough time for people to buy it, experience it, talk about it, review it. You get the 2 or 3 weeks that you need, with a little bit of buffer at the end of it. Do your reporting, make your money, which is why I'm so surprised that Resident Evil 4 remake isn't coming out till March 24th. Like that's fucking late. But then again, I think that. Capcom, I think, maybe does things a little differently in terms of their releases.
Yeah, I think Capcom's not. Look, we know Resident Evil 4 is going to sell.
That's the fair point.
Well,
actually, they don't really give a shit. They're like, it's not an untested property. That's hugely hyped. Yeah,
it's not going to be a situation that they're going to be concerned about running with another big release.
No, that's fair. That's actually a very good point.
And then somebody from Capcom will be listening and be like, yeah, nah. Wild Hearts, I don't really know enough about. Like, it looks cool, but
it's the same guys who do the Dynasty Warriors game, so I think that's the level of what you probably want to.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. And then Skull and Bones, I'm just
not interested.
Not interested.
No, neither. I don't really care.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's pretty much like early in the year. We've got a whole bunch of stuff like in 2023. We don't know when Starfield and Redfall are falling.
Yeah, like a lot of basically anything past the end of March basically doesn't have a date yet for the most part, which is probably intentional. Again, financial year stuff.
This list hasn't been updated, but Atomic Hearts as well is coming out in Feb. I think Feb 23rd off the top of my head. Right. That I'm really fucking excited for.
Atomic Heart will be amazing.
And
I'm curious in like a high on life kind of way. Is it like how big of an experience is it actually going to be? Because obviously the trailers make it look like it's a fucking epic, but like
I don't know. The trailers kind of give me like a feel like it's going to be one of those 20-hour experiences.
Which is great. That's what I want. I don't want a 200-hour, 100-hour.
I feel like Stalker would be like more of your long-term kind of thing.
That's kind of what I was thinking. All right.
Talking about games coming up.
Yes.
Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh yeah, finally actually coming out.
No. I mean, like, as in. Okay, so I was really debating putting the story in there because it was basically noticed at Bethesda Softworks' new international publishing headquarters in London that Ghostwire Tokyo had wall art already listing Xbox Series X and S's platforms.
What a surprise.
Yeah.
Game studio that Microsoft owns is releasing game.
Yep. I dare say it will release on let me just look
March
up the
25th.
launch day of
March 25th.
Yep, just go and look. It's fine.
March 25th.
I heard you, Matt.
So I don't know. Maybe Resident Evil 4 does have some competition.
No. Considering the reviews I saw for Ghostwire Tokyo, no, it doesn't.
No.
I definitely want to play
another
it.
nice to get kind of thing.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. Again, I haven't gotten to Deathloop yet. I should do. I heard it was still really buggy though.
I haven't found buggy. I just haven't cared enough to really get stuck into it yet.
Yeah.
Like it's fun. Like it's a fun enough gameplay loop, but
I mean, I want to support Bethesda and this kind of stuff too. So I like Arcane, so I will jump on Deathloop at some stage. But it's finding the time has been tricky.
Just give me more id properties.
Persona.
Yes.
Give me more Wolfenstein. That is in Youngblood.
And
then doesn't have achievements like number 2.
Yeah, right. I still wish I hadn't fucking played that. And then you got some stuff about Halo Infinite. Cameron.
Yeah, so this article came out like a month ago, but I thought we would just revisit it as Halo's update is coming out November 9th. Wait. Why did it link that one? All right. Give me 2 seconds. This is not what I wanted.
That linked the wrong link for you.
Yeah, that I had something else there, and I'm just trying to find it. Talk amongst yourselves for just 2 seconds. Sorry.
Do I have to?
I mean, you don't have to. You can just stare awkwardly at each other.
Are you talking about the weapon buffs and nerfs coming in the winter update?
No. It was the new co-op achievements and Headmaster. Found it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know. Wait.
Yeah, I got it here.
No,
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to the article.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's coming out the 5th of October. This was ages ago.
Article keeps on redirecting me to...
Just to the achievements page. It did that.
Just to the achievement page, yeah.
I'm looking at the article right here.
All right, cool.
Discusses new cop. I mean, we talked about this when it came out back in October.
Yeah, so. I was just going to do an update because it was coming out this week that we've got 24 brand new achievements. Like, I haven't seen anybody else talking about this since this original article came out.
Mm-hmm.
That there is going to be 24 new achievements coming up that are going to be dealing with, capturing things in certain times, outposts, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just thought it would be a good reminder to everybody that we're fucking finally getting co-op like 2 years after.
The game's coming out. Yeah, congratulations.
Sorry, a year after.
Well, year after, yeah.
I don't think the lasso achievement's still going to be fixed. Don't say that.
To be fair, this is probably when the game should have come out, right? You know, like they maybe should have just held it. But whatever, it is what it is. I'll be curious to see what the reviews are like on it. All right, speaking of Game Pass stuff, what do we got coming up, Cameron? Because I'm very excited about a lot of things on this list.
Yeah, so there is a lot of good games coming up. We have the Legend of Tianding. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Tianding, I think it is.
Yeah, November 1st. You have the Walking Dead New Frontier and Michonne coming to PC on November 1st. I didn't find the New Frontier bad.
It was okay.
Yeah,
it was better than 2.
Yeah, 2 was. I liked the ending to 2.
Ending of 2 was yeah.
Yeah, ending for 2 was pretty good. Everything else is kind of like, are we there yet?
Everything else is why are you listening to a 12-year-old? Yeah.
Yeah. Ghost Song looks cool. Football Manager 2023 is coming out November 8th. So of course, Football Manager 2022 is leaving November 8th as goes the yearly cycle and the easiest thing to protect on the delisting side of things. Return to Monkey Island, which all 3 of us are probably excited for, coming out November 8th. Vampire Survivors coming to console on November 10th.
Great announcement video for that.
I sent that to you guys, didn't I?
I fucking love that. As soon as I saw it, I shared it to my coworkers. I'm just like, this is how we need, like, any console announcements. This is what we're doing.
Such a clever way of doing it. We'll share it. We can share it on the Hall of Gamers Twitter page later.
So anybody that isn't aware, it's essentially like.
Well, just go and watch the video, but yeah, go, or join our Discord.
Join our Discord.
Give them a reason to look for the stuff, Cameron. Don't give them the content.
It's legitimately posted everywhere. Well, I think that went into our private chat, but that's fine.
Yeah. Pentiment coming out on November 15th, which I'm very cool to check out. Somerville coming out November 15th. How do you choose between those 2 games?
I'm going to play both of them.
Yeah, but like, which one are you going to play first?
I'll look at the achievement list and decide from there.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. I would probably play Pentiment first because that's more my style of game.
Somerville, I'm interested in, but I don't know enough about it yet to.
It looks like Limbo. It's going to be like it's going to be a side-scrolling puzzler platformer. Don't think there's going to be any combat or any major combat. I'm mostly curious around. Is there going to be like any no death achievements or other bullshit? We'll see.
Yeah, whether it has a Limbo list. And Gungrave Gore, which looks pretty cool, coming out on November 22nd. Leaving, we have Football Manager 2022 and PC and Xbox, like I said before, on the 8th. November 15th, you have Art of Rally, Fey Tactics, Next Space Rebel, One Step from Eden, and Superland. I'll be honest, I really wanted to get Next Space Rebel done. But I don't feel like there's enough good guides out there to...
It didn't really take off, ironically.
So funny. No, I dived it. I thought it was a pretty fun experience. Art of Rally, I enjoyed up until I found out that there was a first-person mode on PC that people modded in, and I want that now. Like the experience of Art of Rally is dampened doing top-down for me. I just want first-person view. And yeah, One Step from Eden has like a God mode or something. Yeah.
It's got like an easier mode or something in it, yeah. But I think it's also, is that the one? No, Fate Tactics is the one with the unobtainables. Yeah, so One Step from Eden is still possible. Yeah, but it's like a 50-hour completion.
Yeah, so is there anything on that list other than Superland that's worth it?
I mean, I heard Art of Rally was good, right? But I'm not really a racing guy.
20 to 25 hours, I think.
And apparently, like a big chunk of that is just a big grind at the end. Yep. But the actual game itself is relatively easy. But I'm probably just going to do Superland and the stack. There is a guide for it that's pretty good. It's not 100% because the PC version is slightly different from the Xbox version. But I've been following it the last couple of days and have had no real issues with it. So
very nice. But yeah, that's Game Pass updates. What are we been playing?
All right, I'll go first. So Superland, been playing through that. It is a cute sort of first-person puzzle platformer with some combat. Story, it's all just like stickmen, but not actual stickmen, like from like a mold, like you'd see on like a sign or something. Anyway, it's like they don't really have any discernible features. So you just kind of go around exploring stuff, shooting things. It's a Metroidvania in that style of like you gain new abilities and you gain access to areas when you go back to stuff. I like it. There's a really good upgrade system where you just like collect stuff all the time. It is very collector heavy. Puzzles are kind of fun. There's some physics stuff. There's some combat stuff. Yeah, like it's a solid game. I'm not like jumping out of my chair, super enjoying it. I'm just kind of working away at it. But it's like a 15-hour completion if you use a guide. I think probably maybe closer to 20, 25 if you don't. There's a lot of hidden stuff, so the guide is very, very helpful. But yeah, I'd recommend it. I also started up Dead Rising 2 off the record, the Xbox One version with one Mad Rockatansky with Nick. Because him and I have been jonesing for something to play together since it's been a while since we did Sniper Elite. And we're having a good time with it. We're not as good as we used to be at those kinds of games. We have quite a few survivors that we have not been, was one guy we just ran across who was like, hey, I've been bitten. Do you want to give us some Zombrix? And I'm like, hey, I kind of need this for me, bro. So I just walked away and let him die. Felt a bit bad about it. But then I also went in and killed a gimp with a chainsaw. Who
I mean, you're just living your best zombie apocalypse, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's like Dead Rising's great. Like Dead Rising 2 is a fucking incredible game. Like I have real nostalgia for the first game because it was the first one to do that kind of game.
Yeah.
But 2 ironed out so many of the kinks of like having a checkpointing system, having the survivors not be completely fucking brain dead.
3 was like the perfect base game for me too.
I like 3 a lot, but I feel like 3 got a little bit too far away from it, where it was like because you didn't have to escort survivors back to the safe room. There wasn't like a good central hub stuff. It was just kind of you go around doing stuff. It was a lot more open worldy, which I get was to show off the power of the console and things like that. And I enjoyed 3 for the most part, but it definitely doesn't have that same memory. It doesn't like stick in my head the way that 2 does and 1.
Okay.
When Nick's like, oh, I've never played any of the second game. I played the first one. It's like, hey, do we need to get a map up? It's like, no, I know where everything is in this game. Like, I still remember all the stores. I remember all the layouts. I remember most of the bosses and how the story goes. Partly because I also have stacked it twice before. But yeah, it's a great game. And Off the Record is fun because it has the sandbox mode where they take the timer away and you can just go and do challenges and fuck things up. So we're gonna have some fun with that later.
Nick, that was a mighty chainsaw. Dude was hot also.
He was not hot. It was a big chainsaw though. It was a very big chainsaw. It was. Like,
are we talking Nick levels of hot or?
No, yeah. The guy had his. Yeah.
I don't think anyone can get to Nick levels of hot.
That's true. That's very true. Nick's the kind of guy you want to Photoshop out of the photo, not because he's ugly, but because he's taken away from everyone else.
See, like, we haven't talked to Nick about it yet, but like, I might still continue doing the nude calendar. It's just 12 pages of Nick.
Just
it's all free work too. I'm
not
paying
there you
for
go.
that.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, so we've been enjoying that. It's been good. And then Persona 5. To literally no one's surprise, I am now 75 hours in. I think I was 40 hours in last week. So I've nearly doubled that. Been still trying to, work and sleep around that, but that's pretty much all I've been playing. It's fucking great. I beat the quote unquote final boss this afternoon. Before the show. Had a great fight with him. Managed to wreck him. I was so over leveled and so powerful with all the shit that I've been doing in terms of like the personas I've been making and all the stats that I have, that I managed to like wreck him through, like, it was hit him with enough attacks that he was like, oh cool, I'm gonna go to my next form, hit him, and then it was like hit him again with one more turn, next form, hit him again with 1 attacks, done. And then he fucking, I don't want to spoil it, but the boss fight has like a he does a Super Saiyan thing where he just fucking flexes so hard that his muscles become, it's ridiculous. It's still very much a JRPG. I love that game. It's fucking great. The music's fantastic. The story's great. I love most of the characters. The male characters in those games are a little rough. The female ones are okay. But some of the Japanese takes on what's acceptable is maybe a little bit like still a Japanese game. But so really enjoyed it. I know that like I'm in like, in terms of like, you start the game in April, I'm now in December. And I know that like January has a bunch of story stuff, that kind of like epilogue story stuff and some extra things. And then like, I think February and like January, February, and I don't know if there's a March, but like January, February is like a bonus semester where they added it's like summer school, where it's basically just like extra stuff that they added with Royal and a few other bits and pieces. So it was great. So I'm kind of doing there's like an endless dungeon called Mementos that you go to. I want to talk about the story, but obviously that's the main reason for it. But like I talked about last week, it's most of the game is a flashback leading up to this point where we're sitting in the interrogation room. I got to that point, figured out what was actually happening. And then and it was like my mind was blown. I was like, oh, this is super fucking cool and really interesting. And like, like it's a game about heists, so it's like, they do like the Ocean's 11 thing where it's like, okay, we're going to plan out the heist. We're going to have like an infiltration route, where we're going to have to fight a bunch of people on the way there, which is a bit different. People who have weird masks that turn into monsters. And then we're going to go and you're going to be in a jail cell and you're going to be executing them to fuse them into each other. That's just like I think that's Ocean's 13 actually. But yeah, I mean, like, fuck it. Like, there's not much more I can say about this game. I'll probably talk maybe a little bit more about it next week, but I'm hoping to have it done. Estimates are about 80 to 100 hours. So I probably got, another maybe 10, 15 hours in there that I still need to do. But I'm getting towards the end. There's only a few achievements left, but it's been a blast from beginning to end. So highly recommend it.
What's the ratio at the moment?
3 point something, I think. It's not super high.
Jeez, how are 213 people completed already?
Well, like the thing is that like if you skip
playing without doing anything else, like if they don't work or anything, they could just be gaming continuously.
That's
so much. It is. But the thing is, like, I've sat there and watched all the cutscenes. I haven't skipped anything, right?
Yeah.
The actual playing of this game, like 75% of this game is the social stuff where you're going from location to location, talking to people, like going on dates or hangouts with them to improve your compatibility with them, so they trust you more, so you get new abilities for the fighting. The fighting side of stuff is like you go into the palace, you do the fights, you go through a dungeon. I've been doing like the dungeons in like a day, like on the like on the calendar thing. I'm like, well, I'm gonna do all of the stuff first, and then just hit the dungeon really hard and just run through the whole thing in one go. And get to the end. You have to do them in at least 2 stints, but so like in that regard, and then like you have mementos, but like the actual time I spent playing the combat system and all that kind of stuff is pretty light. Like it's probably maybe of those 75 hours, maybe 20 of them have been actual stuff. The rest of it has been like cutscenes, story, hangouts, more story, boosting your social stats and buying things and all that kind of stuff, and playing some of the mini games. Yeah, it's great. But yeah, like if you were just mainlining it and you were like, I just need to get to the end and get all the achievements in the most efficient way possible, you could do the game in 25 hours easy.
Okay.
But it would be an absolute shit experience and you wouldn't understand what the fuck is going on, because the reason to play that game is the story. Or if you don't care about the game, just watch the fucking anime, because they made an anime out of it.
Can I just play the game and watch the anime at the same time?
I mean, you could do. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I believe, again, I don't know because I haven't watched the anime, but I'm pretty sure like Royal added a bunch of like anime cutscenes into the game.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there are scenes where it's just like they just cut to like an anime. I was like, oh shit, this is like a 5-minute anime scene.
That's a smart way to do it. Yeah, just take all the cutscenes out of your game and just make it an anime.
Yeah, and then just extend it out.
Double your input.
Yeah, I mean, like to be fair, like a lot of Japanese games do. I mean, like Danganronpa has an anime. Persona, like it's the reason,
Nexus.
like
Scarlet Nexus. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Like Persona has, and like Joker, the main character, is like a voiced protagonist in this game. Like the voice is very, like he doesn't talk a lot. And you choose most of the dialogue options, and it's mostly not voiced. But there are moments where it's like he talks. Like, when he summons an attack or does something, he yells the attack out. Like he's not a silent protagonist as such.
Yeah. Okay.
So like transitioning that to an anime makes a bit more sense. It is also how I know what his quote unquote real name is. So I just use that name in the game. Because I'm not going to be a Japanese high schooler called Matt. That would just be too weird. Next to Ryuji and Makoto.
Studying abroad.
And, yeah.
Well, you could have gone with Neo. You do realize that, right?
That's true. That's true.
A valid option.
I'm studying many broads in that game. I've managed to get into relationships with all of them. I'm sure it won't come back to bite me. I'm sure it'll be fine.
No, everything will be fine.
It's great. I get all kinds of
Always
bonuses. I take them out on dates. It's great. I think I'm up to like 10 of them. So, yeah.
Cool.
That's what we call, what is it, misogyny?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, well, the thing is, you can't date any of the guys in the game. So it's like, what are you gonna do? That's they just didn't.
No choice. You just have to.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
just
much.
lazy development.
I guess Joker just doesn't swing that way. That's fair.
So.
But yeah, that's
we
me.
do not kink shame.
No, absolutely not. So yeah, that's me for this week, and it's probably just going to be me for next week as well, because what the fuck else am I going to play?
Just like
Nothing.
It's going to be.
I'm going to get Superland done. I'm going to play some more
There
with
is
Net,
only Persona.
All right,
and then Persona.
Don't just tune in for next week's podcast and then skip Matt's another talk.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then we'll talk about Pen.
Is this like last week and skipping all of the Age of Empires?
Yes, exactly.
Because you
yeah.
spend a whole podcast talking about Age of Empires.
Well, now that you mention it.
Oh, no.
Cameron, what have you been playing?
All right, so I've been playing a little bit of Chivalry 2 again, which is not really much to say other than what I said last week. Medieval fighting, like it's fun to stream and just like show off a little, but that's pretty much there's no story. It's just a social experience. Game. Yeah. And then the other two games I've been playing are Gunfire Reborn and Age of Empires 2. Which one? Do you want to rip the Band-Aid off now?
Yeah, just get Age of Empires done, because there's nothing new under the sun there.
So I'm down to 25 achievements.
Literally ancient history.
And it's been... so I'm 167 out of 191. It has been an experience, and... where do I begin? So I've basically been doing all the miscellaneous stuff, cleaning up the Dynasties of India title update, which was relatively easy. It was just 3 achievements that was there's one of them that was splitting your starting force of 10 cavalry in half on hard mode and trying to get 2 villages saved at the same time.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So you got to micromanage.
Yep, micromanage to the point of F3 is a pause button. I learnt that this week.
You're gonna be the worst manager, micromanager.
Just F3, just click the
Scroll,
box.
Click.
So
mate, you need to join a StarCraft league with RPM like that.
So that was fun. However, there is an achievement that I posted about in the Discord that is Rome was conquered in a day, and it's defeat 12 castles in less than 30 minutes.
I remember you bitching about this a while ago.
Age of Empires 2 runs at 1.7 speed. So you can slow down the settings to 1.0, but it feels like fucking slow.
Yeah.
And God, that is I still haven't got it done. It is a bitch of an achievement. I've tried building castles on either side and getting 2 army forces and working my way in. No. I'm always at 9 or 10 and then I just run out of time. So that's been fun. There's a achievement where there's which one is it called? There is a wander on the coastal line, and essentially you need to stop it so that nobody Lepanto 1571. You need to make it so no Turkish transport ship unloads on your shores. So what I did was I gave it 3 or 4 attempts. I built a whole bunch of the wooden walls on the coastline.
Yep.
One transport made it through. So restarted. I tried castles on the shoreline just to try and get it down, fast fire ships. No, same thing. Just fucking these 2 achievements. They're going to be the last things I get. Fucking pain in the ass. Saying that, I did do a few of the story modes. I did the Kotsian mission, which without advancing to the feudal age, which was essentially make a whole bunch of battling rams and cavalry just to protect them. That was fun. A lot of the miscellaneous stuff has been pretty fun. There was one that was the Vikings taking over north of the UK.
Cool.
I'm trying to think what it was called. What battle it was?
Scotland.
Oh, it was Scotland. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I don't really know much about that kind of history.
North of the UK, Scotland. You mean?
Yeah. I don't really know about that history or that place or that kind of stuff. But that one was pretty fun.
It's a good thing David is off dropping the kids to school.
Yeah, that too. Did a few of the Genghis Khan stuff. And I got a good 10 or so achievements done, which I think is pretty good for me. But now it's just a whole bunch of campaigns.
If only you could use cheats, right?
No.
If only.
I would never want cheats for Age of Empires 2. Age of Empires 3, that's completely fine.
Right.
But
cheats. We don't use cheats. What are you talking about?
No, not for 2. 2's sacred. 2 is, very, very good. 4, I'll see how I feel about when I get a little bit way into it, but I want to give it a fair crack. So yeah, in terms of achievements that I got left, in terms of campaigns, I've got to finish off the El Cid campaign, the Dracula campaign, the Francisco campaign, Tariq, Yodit, I'm not even going to pronounce that, Jahad, Leloy. Leloy was actually pretty good. That one has a few miscellaneous achievements, like just keeping the heroes alive. And like the weird thing about Age of Empires 2, there's some of the newer campaigns that are like scripted really well. So if you get the heroes into battle with you, like how do I explain it? Back when like Age of Empires 2 first came out, you would get the heroes in battle and they'll just be stronger units, yeah?
Yeah.
These ones actually work the campaigns in such a way that if you get the hero units involved, it strengthens the entire fighting strength of the army.
Oh.
Like
okay.
it's like they're inspired.
Yeah, right.
And then like if that hero dies, they usually just get respawned back at the base and you reset back to base stats.
Yeah.
So it's like it's very engaging to actually get the heroes into battle and use them up front to get your other units like working better. Whereas back in the past, it was like this hero must survive kind of deal, which like I get, but you just garrison inside a town center or a castle and you just leave them.
Yeah,
and just
pretty much
you'd forget about them, and that was essentially it.
It's like we just load them up with priests to heal them, and that was pretty much it.
I'm pretty sure I talked about it last week, but like Dynasties of India didn't really have the same effect on me as Lords of the West. But I think Lords of the West deals with a lot more population heavy kind of campaigns, like grand scale battles, whereas in Dynasties of India is just more strategy kind of moves.
Small scale stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been very interesting. It's been very fun. I'm like in a massive Age of Empires kick. Outside of that, I've been streaming a few different games. I've been cleaning up the Ascent. Gunfire Reborn, I started the other day with Brad and Anubis. It's essentially a roguelite shooter kind of game. Very similar, like Shade Cell. Like similar to Borderlands kind of style. Yep. It's fun. It's going to be one of those like gameplay loops where you're like, you're constantly doing the same thing, like any roguelite, upgrading over time, and then you gradually get stronger enough to take down the boss, and then you get to the next one. We managed to, in 2.5 hours, get the first boss room kind of done. Get to the second one, immediately the enemies are just way OP. Kind of thing. So it's going to be one of those things.
Okay.
But weapons were really cool. Like it had that Borderlands kind of feel.
Yeah.
Like in terms of the gunplay was good. The abilities were good. There was a few like clutch moment kind of things in there where like which you want in a roguelite. You want to be like I think a good roguelite is you're struggling and get something until you gradually upgrade and then you can beat the game. And then
that's kind of like Risk of Rain, kind of the second one, especially is kind of really good for that.
I don't think anything will come as close to Risk of Rain 2 as like how polished it was for me, like in terms of gameplay loop. But this is definitely enjoyable. I can and just streaming on Twitch, I'm happy to get like other people jumping in and playing as well. We got one guy from the US that was absolutely fucked as hell for ping. But yeah, he was like 100 when we're all like level 15, so very good. I'm going to be doing it every Tuesday now over on my Twitch channel.
Cool.
But yeah, that's pretty much me for the week. I'm trying to fit indie games in at the moment, but fuck, there's just too much I need to clean up.
Charlotte.
I'm still in a weird gaming slump, so this is like the only games I've been playing are the same things that I've been playing for stream. So the one thing I wanted to talk about last week, but unceremoniously got kicked from my internet, so couldn't join last week, is actually the Cult of the Lamb Halloween update that's out at the moment. It's still out, so you can still play it. It is the Blood Moon ritual, the Blood Moon Festival, which adds a new ritual, some new followers, some new items, and a really amazing bass music track, which is like it's really good. I guess one of the best tracks that they've had in the game so far.
Wasn't there like a really weird trunk one, like follower skin?
So there's
or a
3.
beak or something.
Okay, so I'll
you know the one I'm talking about, yeah?
Yes, I do. Yeah, it's the crow.
Yeah, that's it.
But there's an explanation on that one. And it is pretty funny because what they did, they ended up on their Twitter, because their Twitter is fantastic. Their managers of their Twitter account are just onto it. They're so quick when they release things. Like as soon as that Mario trailer came out, they had recreated it with Cult of the Lamb. It was perfect.
Yep.
And literally within a couple of hours.
Yeah,
they've done it. So, but the new follower forms, there's 3 of them, and one of them happens to be the crow. But the way that they have designed their follower skins, the mouth is always on the front, so it's like the side of the face.
right.
And so the beak is on the side of the face, and the mouth is on this side, and it's like misproportioned. Yeah. So they did a photo that's just the beak and said, "Go wild, create your own." And some of the things that came back from that were just hilarious. It's worth looking at the Cult of the Lamb Twitter page just for that. Like, I love seeing what they come up with, and I like share things all the time from their page because it's hilarious, and it is my game of the year. Like, not just for the game itself, but the gameplay, the music in the game, the cute followers, and that freaking Twitter account. Like, that makes it for me. And like, that's the interaction is fantastic.
It's just so random. Like today they posted the sushi roll, like lamb.
Yeah.
And it's just like, imagine a lamb sushi roll. And that's all it is. And it's like, okay.
It's just shit posting for money. Like,
it's just shit posting.
But it's perfectly timed shit posting.
Mm-hmm. That's what marketing really is these days.
It really is. It's all it is. Knowing when to post the memes. Like they did the spirit one with the cult leader, the spirit costume, and they've got the lamb and the cult leader. It's very good. But yeah, I definitely look at their Twitter account. Like, it's fantastic. So they actually have anatomically incorrect animals was what they released as the followers. So there was one that's like kind of looks like a bat, but it has like spiked wings on it and like horns on the front and the pentagram on the forehead, the crow, and then there was a third one. I just can't remember off the top of my head.
I'm not sure if I told you today too. I know that Amazon in Australia, their deluxe physical edition for PlayStation is the same price as the normal at the moment, which is like $60.
That's really cool.
I'm very tempted to pick up a Switch copy if I can get my hands on the deluxe. The Cultist edition.
They are only releasing so many. They actually explained that at PAX that it just costs too much to actually release the physical copies, so they just don't do it through Devolver Digital. Okay. They just don't do it.
So my big thing for the week is trying to find indie-related games for Christmas, like indie-related merch. Yeah. I spent $500 today trying to get 6 or 7 items.
That's how it goes.
And fucking,
it's gonna cost you.
You know what the other thing is too? Like, unless you're going to PAX and have the time to actually buy merch from all the booths and that, you're basically shipping from a US company.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep. Unpacking did their merch line this week.
You just get a cardboard box sent to you. That's it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
You just have to put your own stuff in it.
That's the perfect unpacking kind of story there. Just write the word on it.
What else are you playing, Charlotte?
So yeah, Cult of the Lamb is my big thing. So I do that once a week on stream. I am currently soft locked out of Spawn. So that's great.
Soft locked is the combat again?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically at the moment I'm stuck. I can't get any more health and I'm stuck with 1 bar and I can't get through the gate and kill the guy that I need to kill fast enough before he kills me. And then if I do that, I end up getting killed by another guy shortly after that, and I just can't get past it. So I'm stuck.
Have you loaded the game up since then?
Yeah, since that has happened, yeah.
Okay,
what do you mean?
And you're still in the same spot?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the thing is, I found with that game was that it saved so irregularly that, like, even if I had a checkpoint somewhere where I kept dying and respawning, if I just loaded the game up again, it would jump me back quite a bit. And so I could
no, it hasn't jumped me right back. It's jumped me back only to the part where I can go back and get the bullets again and reload. That's it.
Yeah.
That's as far as it puts me back. So yeah, at the moment I'm kind of just putting it off. I'll go back to it again at some point. I've been working on Costume Quest 2 still. I'm close to the end. I think at the moment I need to look at what I need to do for cleanup on that one. But I'm now in the future.
Yeah, I love that.
So I've like done the school and I've now wandered around and done all of the outside, but I'm a little bit lost as to where I'm going next. So I need to actually look that up and find out where my next step is on Costume Quest 2. And then the other game I've been playing is not actually an Xbox game, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because it's exciting. It's a Pokemon game, and Pokemon on an emulator. Shocking.
For a game that you 100% own, that you just emulate.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I really do. I do own this. I own all of them. Like, yes.
Yep.
But it's also a roguelite version, which is great.
It's fine. As long as you're not doing a Nuzlocke, then
no.
Nintendo won't care.
No. Technically, it's not Nuzlocke, so
technically
it's a roguelite.
Still can't believe they cracked the shits over that.
It's surprising. I'm surprised they did that, but that it is what
it's a Nintendo
I kind of
thing
get
to
it,
do.
but also
there is the hard drive headline every Halloween that's like, Nintendo sends cease and desist to kid who dresses up as Mario.
Yeah, of course. And that's basically all I've been playing.
You know what? That was Costume Quest 2. That's probably a perfect one to stack. Take it all the way back.
I've thought about it, but I also am like...
Because all I can remember from the game is it was cute. I liked it. I cannot remember a single story beat. So now it's probably time to go back and play it.
Yeah, it would be the right time to go back and do it.
Honking at the alligator a bunch.
Yep.
I remember wearing a hat for the entire campaign.
Someone having to wear, was it the candy corn?
Candy
corn, yeah. So my candy corn is still on. Yeah.
Just for that one.
Fucking... I mean, this candy corn special ability is really good. Otherwise, it's a fucking pain.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good meat shield. I was watching you play through that Pokemon Emerald thing last night. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
I think it would drive me insane to play something like that.
Oh yeah, because you hate roguelites, but I love them, so it's perfect for me.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's great. Apart from fucking up my save, but that's fine. We don't talk about that. I'll deal with that.
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's truck right along then. So what's next on the list, I guess, is the leaderboard.
Yes, which I have right here. So in third place, we have a Grey Shark with 19,675. In second place, we have Jimbot UK with 25,775. And in first place, we have MC Panda with 37,310.
Jesus,
it's fun.
Christ.
It's funny for a kid that just plays
that
Valorant.
next milestone. Yeah, but he plays baby games to get to the next step, which is totally fine. We have no
Panda. Why don't you play baby games on stream? You just play Valorant.
Oh, he does. He did play baby games on stream.
Oh, okay,
he was at one time.
I missed that one.
Yeah, I hung out. We were just watching him play baby games.
All right, well,
entertaining.
Good job, I guess. What about completions?
Okay. So for completions, we have Rapture with baby games, of course. But he also completed Forgotten City, Beacon Pines, and Killer Queen Black. Then Crucible 101 completed Prey. David just completed a bunch of baby games.
Yep.
All of the baby games, just all of them. Dragframe completed Tunic. The Natolinator completed Wreckfest, Gravel, Rocket Arena, Tabletop Racing. Valixy completed Peter Jackson's King Kong, Aragon, Ratatouille, and Duke Nukem Forever. Professor Pluto completed Sniper Elite 4, Hack and Pone completed Beacon Pines, and Aftos completed Chorus.
Very nice.
Fantastic. Yeah. Some good games in there. I'm glad Aftos enjoyed Chorus.
Yeah, you said that, but I remembered hearing Duke Nukem, and I.
Well, no, okay, yeah, like barring that, Duke Nukem is a fucking shocking game.
Yeah.
All right.
All I remember from that, from what I was told while being narrated while Dio was playing it, was, he just had a threesome with the Olsen twins.
Yep, basically.
Okay.
I got balls of steel. All right, well, let's get on to the word challenge. Everyone's favorite competition that we do. Where if you don't know, on our Discord, discord.io/HallOfGamers, you can come hang out with us in our community. We have a channel called Word Challenge where you can go and guess a game. And if you guess the game correctly, our bot pops up a GIF and you win $20 Australian in whatever currency is, useful to you. And so each week I give away
rupees.
Yes, rupees, yeah.
The pot may not be broken.
I'll say I don't know if we have any Indian listeners, but if we do,
no, I meant like
yes, I do know what you actually meant, Cameron. But rupees is also a real currency.
Yes, I know, but I meant like
yeah, I know what you meant, Cameron. But I also don't want to get cease and desisted. So the clues I gave away were that it was an FPS. It was part of a cross-generational series. I had completed it, and that it was published by Activision. And shortly afterwards, after a few guesses, our good friend Professor Pluto managed to guess that yes, it was indeed Cabela's Alaskan Adventures, one of the worst games I've ever played in my entire fucking life.
It's funny. So I immediately went like, no, I'm paying that. Yeah, and he still hasn't hit me up.
He was not happy about not getting paid. So make sure you hit Cameron up and get your money, mate. Congratulations. I will have a new game for us next week.
Cool.
Yeah. Patreon?
Yep. So our Patreon listeners, where do I begin? We would not be able to do the show without you guys. So we want to thank Odrin, Lee, Mikhail, Chapters, Natalator, Firehawk, Mad Lefty, G Spaceman, Admiral Awesome, Keo, Heavy Moogles, Kung Fu Skills, Hack and Pone, Cavalier 07, Old Mate Clown, Mark B, and Nickelodeon Legend for your support. Couldn't be able to run the podcast without you. Now, the Patreon draw that I have been slack with for the last 2 months because I have been busy. I have drawn September and October, and I have also put up the November post. So starting off, we'll go for the November post. You have 4 new games to select from. Lonesome Village, which nobody has voted for yet, which feels like a crime in my books because that game is fucking cute as heck. Paper Cup Mansion, which looks interesting. Tanuki Sunset, and Saturnalia?
Sure. Saturnalia.
Yeah, they all look pretty interesting, but I am really surprised people are going for Tanuki Sunset over Lonesome Village. But I mean, your Patreon dollars, that's fine. In terms of September, drumroll. I posted these today. I gotta make sure. Looking up. Mad Lefty is our September winner, so just message me. What I'm going to do is, because we didn't have the poll up for September and October, message me and I will PayPal you $30 so you can pick a newer indie experience for yourself. And then just, give us, let us know what you pick and we can go from there.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the show.
Yep. And then October, I need a drum roll. Or a guitar solo, or a guitar solo, Matt.
Air guitar solo. I mean, an air guitar solo doesn't work because I'm not hitting anything. Just fucking play it.
Mikhail.
Whatever.
Woo.
No. Yeah, no, congratulations, Mikhail.
Yeah, so just
good job, mate.
Hit me up. So PayPal, $30 Australian each. Just grab an indie and let us know what you think.
Fantastic. And thank you all. And as always, patreon.com/HallOfGamers is the place to come say hi and give us some money. We greatly appreciate it. We do run the show at a small loss at this point, to be honest, to paying for competitions and subscriptions and Zoom and things like that.
Zoom's the killer.
Zoom is the killer. It's like $250 a year. Hey,
you know what? Zoom, sponsor us. That would be cool.
That'd be nice. But so like we don't embezzle any of the funds. They literally all go straight back into the podcast. So we do greatly appreciate all the support that everyone gives us. As always, like I said, we've got the Discord, discord.io/HallOfGamers. You can come hang out with us in our community. We've had a few new people join. Welcome. Hopefully you're listening to the show. We've also got our Twitch.
Sorry, if you're joining too, to ask if somebody can buy completions too. No.
Yeah, maybe don't.
Yeah, maybe don't.
Maybe just leave us be.
We've also got our Twitch, which we do the show live on each week. Xbox Hall of Gamers is the place to find us there. You can come hang out with our chat, talk to us, ask questions. We try, again, we are recording, so we don't always get to see everything on there, but we do try to react with it as much as possible because we obviously want to incentivize people to come hang out with us.
Yep.
And otherwise, if you want to contact us for other reasons, send in questions. We do have a channel for questions on Discord, but otherwise, you can email us at hallofgamerspodcast@gmail.com or at hallofgamerspod on Twitter. But if you've made it this far through the show, you know what we need. Subscribe, leave us a review. Word of mouth, as always, is huge for us. We are a small podcast, and we greatly appreciate everyone who does listen to us.
We hit 200 followers on Twitch. Make it 250 now, please. Thank you.
Absolutely, yes. Maybe get some subscribers in there as well. Fucking give me some money.
And that's fine. As long as
I do subscribe.
You
Thank
do. You do. Yeah.
As long as we are running this podcast at like close to, you know what? If you put more money into the podcast, I got more money to do for prizes and all that. Unless
that's true. That's true. Like we do put the money straight back into the podcast. That is always our intention, because fucking, I
don't want to go back to Discord.
No, we do not want to go back to recording on Discord. Holy shit.
No, and like recording out audio each individually and sending it to one person.
One person being me. Oh my God. Anyway, that's going to bring us to the end of the show. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to my wonderful co-host and to our patrons.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking hope so. Cameron, if you want to be found, what's the details?
Shadowless Edge _ on Twitch or Shadowless Edge on pretty much everything. I will be streaming Dark Souls again because I'm getting peer pressured from in real life friends.
Yep.
Can't go to an average dinner at a pub and not be told like, no, you need to stream Dark Souls again. Can't fucking have a redeem in my thing without Keo being like, no, you need to do Dark Souls again.
I believe I redeemed like 2 Dark Souls redeems the other day because you hadn't turned them off and you weren't even playing Dark Souls. And I was like,
that's pretty funny.
Rip.
Yeah. I'll just translate to the games. That's fun.
True. And Charlotte?
I am Charmandosaurus _Rex on Twitch. I stream 3 times a week at the moment, so you can just find me whenever. I don't put a schedule out. You can just turn up. I'm on Discord under the Char with many names, and on Twitter I am AudreyChar, and then on Xbox I'm AudreyChar.
And the Hall of Gamers Twitter account.
And the Hall of Gamers Twitter account, yes. Yes.
One last thing for me to do.
Which is hilarious because I was waiting to see if anyone would actually notice that it's not you doing it now. It's actually me. So we'll find out how many people listen to the end of the show and then realize, oh, it's Charlotte now controlling.
Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. It's just really shitty timing that Elon Musk decided to buy Twitter when you're taking.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
No.
We're not getting
Hey. We could be verified now if we pay $8.
I was going to say the Patreon money can go towards that, right? Yeah.
That we don't have.
No, exactly.
Freedom of speech at a low $8 a month.
That's all it costs. Free and with a little asterisk.
Freedom, yeah.
And as always, you can find me, Neomaster, on everything, True Achievements, Xbox, and Discord. I don't really do anything social. I just play video games and talk on.
Why would you do anything social? That's going to cut into Persona time.
Well, to be fair, I got to get my social links up.
I don't think I've seen you since last podcast.
No, fuck no. Why would I? No, absolutely not. No, there's for good reason. I'm losing sleep. All right, well, that's going to wrap up episode 60. Thank you all for joining us. We will catch you guys next week. See you later.
Bye.
Ciao, homies.